Hello and welcome to the first UNIV News, where our opinions become your facts. Today, we have several items to discuss. First, the NFL has announced that they have finally created a policy for dealing with violence. That's right, any player accused of physical assault will now face the penalty of sitting in timeout for 30 minutes. Over to you, Hefe, for the opinion on the matter. Well, I know that the new commissioner's salary is now $44 million, so now he's able to fly home in between his vacations, which means he was able to fit in a 15-minute conversation with a few legislators and politicians. After this conversation is where they came up with this policy, and I believe that is absolutely excellent. Because more football means it's going to be better for America. And after with this policy, we know that we'll be getting more football time because it doesn't matter what the football players do, they will definitely be playing. It was unreasonable for people like Rodney Harrison to be suspended for 4 whole games just because of some little drug abuse. Now we'll be having more football for everyone. Back to you.
Well, Jeffrey, that's a perfect example of NFL jurisdiction. Had they needed to pay taxes, they would be forced to abandon their violence management policy and be audited by a third, highly ethical party. And we all know that would cause major setbacks for the NFL.
I completely agree.
Good thing they are a non-for-profit with plenty of money. There has never been a better way to spend should be tax dollars than its American entertainment system. Back to you, Jeff.
Next up, we have Girl Scouts. A woman sues a Girl Scout organization over Girl Scout cookies making her children fat. And over to you, Hefe.
Well, my opinion on the matter is that this is just absolutely outrageous. I mean, these Girl Scouts work very hard towards a good cause.
Well, as my favorite nonprofit organization, they work hard to create independence for girls internationally. They really help these girls become wonderful young women who are active in the community.
Make good housewives.
These girls learn to be independent, and they have raised so much money through cookie sales.
The CEO just built a $65,000 bathroom.
But they do support organizations like CCA and the Red Cross. These girls are capable of great things that really benefit their community.
So they learn practical skills like cooking and cleaning. That's good. Girl Scouts of America. Tomorrow's housewives. Today. Back to you, Jeff.
Next up is WikiLeaks and other confidential information that has been publicly shared on the internet. Over to you, Hefe.
Thanks, Jeff. WikiLeaks was in the news recently as they released a massive leak. The leak contained, amongst other things, what the USA really stands for, the real material construction of the Hoover Dam, and the fact that a considerable amount of Americans understand irony. Now, while on the topic of WikiLeaks, there has been an idea floating around the news media that WikiLeaks should become a for-profit organization. This would allow them to fabricate information much faster, and with all the extra money, they could help Anonymous. What's going on? What's going on? What are you guys doing? What's the meaning of this?
Anyways, next up, we're going to be talking about the Red Cross. My good friend Jeffersonian has something to say about it, as soon as they get over with their technical difficulties. And over to you.
Thanks, Jeff. And we're having some technical difficulties, so we switched to an auxiliary camera, and if you don't know what that is, don't ask me, because I don't know either. Anyway, I'm Jeffersonian, and I'm here to talk about the Red Cross.
Glad to have you here today. I'd like to know, what type of people do you help?
Well, we help the people that get screwed over by Mother Nature and her tornadoes, thunderstorms, and all her other wicked things, as well as people that get screwed over by the government, like those brave army soldiers fighting for our country, because when they come back, they'll be like, where did my house go? These are the people we intend to help.
It's a wonderful cause. So I've heard there is some rising evidence about the founder. Can you elaborate?
Well, we've had some pretty solid evidence that I also believe where our founder went by the name of Edward Cullen.
It's very interesting. Has the Red Cross created a motivation statement yet?
We do have a phrase that we all go by. It's, in whatever you do, always give 100%.
Unless you're donating blood.
So I hear that you have a very large volunteer group.
That's true. We have what I believe is the best of the best when it comes to volunteers. You know, they've been trained to do lots of things excellently.
My volunteer missed 10 times.
And they've also been trained to give out free t-shirts.
They didn't give me a free t-shirt either.
I have also heard that you're interested in becoming a for-profit organization. How do you plan to do this?
That's true. We've been experimenting with some new programs, like our most recent one, where as soon as we help people with their disaster care, they become voluntary volunteers for 7 years. And back to you, Jeff.
Next up, Hope's Door, another organization that's helping people. This time, they're giving a live speech on it, and we have a reporter on the scene. Now, over to you, Jeffadiah.
Since 1986, Hope's Door has offered safety, shelter, healing, and hope to individuals.
So far, nothing interesting. Just the usual non-profit organizations helping people.
Hope's Door is an emergency shelter and counseling center for individuals and families affected by domestic violence. Over 83% of every dollar is used for direct client programs and services.
And so far, it's only about minor things, like saving lives and stopping terror and whatever. Nothing our middle class is worried about.
Clients living in emergency shelter are provided with food, clothing, and all the necessities of daily life, along with case management, safety planning, counseling, legal advocacy, and referral to other community services. The programs and services offered at Hope's Door are designed to empower those affected by domestic violence to break the cycle of abuse. Are there any questions?
Have there been any new services recently?
Actually, yes. To keep women safe, we have now created text-based alerts that notify them whenever an NFL player is within 5 miles of them.
That's great. Now back to you, Jeff.
And now it's time for our commercial break. Are you tired of paying taxes? Do you wish you had more money without being held accountable? Then sign up for a nonprofit today. Just discover how to fill out government forms and learn how to publicly apologize, and you're practically done. And if you call now, you'll have access to our library of books like Technically Not Stealing, The Guide to Government Loopholes, Sketchy Behavior 101, Government Scandals for Dummies, and much, much more. Side effects may include loss of friends, heartlessness, public hatred, divorce, elevator violence, bribery, steroids, racism, doping, verbal abuse, fraud, and others. If you have honesty, integrity, ethics, a heart, or friends, a sense of responsibility, nonprofits may not be right for you. For further detail, please visit your local politician. Call now to receive your guide for starting a nonprofit today.
I don't always tell the weather, but when I do, you're probably in for a storm. Anyway, well, as we can see, hurricane procrastination just barely missed UNIV 1010. While there is a slight shower of homework on the weekdays, by mid-afternoon on Saturday, there is a 90% chance of A+ for those who live in the UNIV Newcastle area.
Thank you, Jeffersonium. And that concludes our monthly show of UNIV News. Our next story titled, UT Dallas Deans, Heartless or Human? Come back next month to find out. UNIV out.